What's good, YouTube? You're back on S Motorsports. Today we're going to be getting the fuel tank ready and some goodies in this box to get the Trans Am all the fuel that it needs. So today, I got some goodies in this box, as well as a brand new fuel tank that I'll show you, as we needed a new fuel tank for the Trans Am as it was previously carbureted, and this is a fuel injection tank, and it does have a little baffle in here, which I will show you because I was super curious about that myself. And we have, as you can see, an Aeromotive pump for the new fuel tank, and then I have new fuel tank straps, as well as some new rubber for the straps because my old ones were shot. So today we're just going to be getting the fuel tank ready to go into the Trans Am. I got everything prepped. I did spray it with some nice black paint to make it look all fresh and hide all of the rust. But yeah, so let's start unboxing this stuff and take a look at what I picked up. All right, I got you nice and low here so I can unbox this stuff on the ground. So this is the part number for the fuel tank straps that I picked up. It does have some foam on here as well, but I did end up kind of already picked up beforehand. I didn't know it was going to come with the foam. So I also picked up these fuel tank isolators. I think I got this from Summit Racing. They're just universal fuel tank straps, so I will have to trim these. I think I am going to use the rubber ones instead of leaving the foam on here, as that looks like it's captured a little bit better. And I probably will throw some like sound deadening on top of the fuel tank as well, just to maybe cut down any vibrating. But the star of the show is this Aeromotive fuel pump that I picked up. And kind of what I figured that I needed was, obviously if it's an Aeromotive, you kind of know what I already picked up, as this is a very popular choice. Holy cow. Yeah, okay, it's in there good. Ta-da! It is an Aeromotive fuel pump assembly specifically for the 82 to 92 Camaro and Trans Ams, and so it's going to fit my fuel tank good. The one I got was the Aeromotive 340 pump, so this should be all the fuel that I need for this engine and then some, and this will have plenty of pressure and a good flow curve where it easily be able to push through the lines, which I am going to run dash 8 lines, even though this is a dash 6 outlet fitting. I'm going to step that up to a dash 8. That does cut down on your pressure loss through the whole system, through the line, so that will help out, even though I know this is the restriction, but the dash 8 line still helps with reducing overall pressure drop. So this is a very nice piece. It's really, I already did check the float, as that was an issue on that some people are having, I guess. I did check it with a multimeter, and it seemed good through its travel. But really, let's get the fuel tank unboxed and see how this fits in. And I want to show you that sump baffle as well in the fuel tank. So like I said, I did have to pick up a new fuel tank. So this is a Dorman. Part number is 576-183. And so this was, from what I found, is the fuel tank. If you get an Aeromotive fuel system that comes with the tank and that exact pump, it comes with this tank. From some comments I think I saw on Summit Racing, that's what it said the tank was actually. So I just ordered it separate as it was cheaper. Yeah, so let's get this unboxed. I did already open it up, I guess, and take a look at it, but I do want to show you the sump. So obviously my old tank, it was a carburetor tank, and it didn't have that sump. So we needed to upgrade. Plus that fuel tank is so old, I'm sure it just has tons of junk in it. It wasn't really worth saving, and it looks like crap too. So this tank is all nice and fresh. Yeah, it's just, I mean, for what this cost, it really wasn't worth trying to save that old fuel tank, especially when I really needed a baffle anyways. So let me bring you in close and let's see if we can take a look at that baffle. As you can see, or maybe see, there's a, try and get you in here at a good angle, but there's a baffle right there, and that's kind of right in the way of trying to hit that as well. This is kind of hard, but so with the light you can see that's where the fuel tank pump sits in that baffle, and there is a little let me actually get a light in there once. Oh yeah, see, that works way better. You can see that baffle in there. That's where the fuel tank pump sits. There's the inlet, and so you can see there is more baffling in this than probably a normal carburetor tank, but that tub is really, I think, what's necessary, and then also this extra baffling to make sure that, you know, the pump doesn't get starved. So I think the fuel tank actually came with this, I want to say, or it might have been the Aeromotive pump, I'm not sure. One of them came with this new lock ring and gasket or rubber seal. I want to say it was a fuel tank came with this. I think I just threw it in the box. But so this is going to go on. I think we slipped this through on the pump first. All right, so you put this gasket on first. Sorry for the heater noise, but this is gonna live under there. I think, let's see, then we can slip it in the tank. Now we could slip the lock ring over. Okay, now that we got this positioned correctly, we can tap the lock ring into place. She's in place. Okay, so I did take the rubber strips that you lay on top of here, because this is where the car holds the fuel tank in on the top side. So I'm draping this down, and then I'm letting this come all the way down to the back side, and I'm gonna cut that rubber, and then I do have some like adhesive that I'm gonna lay down and put this on to kind of hold it in place so it doesn't move around when we're putting the fuel tank back in. Okay, one more thing, like I said, that we're going to be swapping out this AN6 fitting coming out of the outlet. The return, I'm still going to keep a -6 because that's perfectly fine. But the outlet, I'm switching to -8 line. And it actually even says in the instructions, if you're going to be running this pump with a carbureted setup, it wants the -8. It says for fuel injection, it can be 6 or 8. But I'm trying to get it to 8 as quickly as possible. So I'm going to try and use this little extension, and then this is it's a 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch NPT to a -8. We'll see if that fits or not. So yeah, let's take this out and see how these two stack up in this spot. This one is just a little extension piece. 1/8 inch extension adapter, and then this is the 1/8 inch NPT to -8 AN fitting. So obviously it'll go like this. I'm just checking the length right now. So that's, I mean, that's about the same length, so hopefully that should work good. I'm not gonna tighten these up yet or put sealant on them. I'm just checking to see if I can even thread this in. Oh yeah, that'll work good. I was just worried about the clearance to the bottom of the tank to be able to turn this in, but that should work. And that's the easiest and I guess quickest way to get it to -8 that I found. Obviously, this is the restriction, but this pump has plenty of pressure to push enough fuel flow past this. One thing I noticed, these are all aluminum fittings. You can see this is the one that came on the tank in the hole size. I don't know if you can, so I'll hold, this is the adapter fitting. There is a difference in hole size. So what I'm gonna do is find a drill bit that is the same diameter as this one and drill this one out as well as this one, because this one is a little bit smaller as well. It does taper to a bigger hole in there inside, but I'm gonna make sure that these two fittings are at least the same diameter inside as this fitting to make sure that we don't have any restrictions. So I got this new fitting drilled out. I don't know if you can see, they are now the same size, so I shouldn't have any reduction in fuel flow in this guy. And then once it gets past, you know, this part, obviously it's going to a -8, so we shouldn't have very much pressure drop from the rest of the system. And honestly, you know, this is -6 or that hole size, this entire length, and now this new one, you know, it's kind of hard to show, but you know, it's going to be this size here, and then once it gets to this point, it opens up. So we actually have a shorter -6 section. Not that that's probably going to make any difference, but I don't know, makes me feel a little bit better. So I will put some Teflon on this guy and get this installed, and then we should be good to go. Hey guys, so I'm adding a little bit of sound deadening to this. I'm gonna throw it on here. We'll do a knock test beforehand here. As you can see, it's kind of ringy, so I'm just gonna add a little bit. If there's anything I can do to quiet down the fuel pump noise, I'm gonna do it, and I have some of this left over. I will have to buy some more for the car anyways, but I think this is a good to just make sure that we get it nice and quiet. All right guys, so I got some sound deadening put on the fuel tank. Let's give it another knock test and see what it sounds like. I put a little bit on the side here as well, and then I got this going kind of all the way to the back side. So this is the biggest part right here, and it definitely made an improvement, and I don't know how much of a difference that's gonna make, but I just wanted to do everything I can because I hate electric fuel pump noise. So if this quiets it down just a little bit, then it was worth it. So really, we got the fuel tank prepped. That's all I was planning on doing on this video, but let's get her tossed into the car because I did paint the back end of the car. I got it all ready to put the fuel tank in, and so let's throw it up in with the new fuel straps, which that glue I used on the rubber for the fuel straps actually worked really good. And as well as like here, I used the glue. Oh, maybe not. Well, I thought I was holding it. Okay, well, it holds it enough to keep it there in place. I might throw a little bit more glue on there. But it holds it enough to keep it in place anyways. But let's get her thrown up in the car and see what it looks like. I'm curious to see where the fuel door that I did in the last video lines up. So we'll see.
One eternity later.
All right, guys, we got the fuel tank installed back up there. I didn't cinch her down 100% yet, as I wanted to just verify that the pump is centered in the opening. As you can see, I painted everything kind of black back here. Painted black, don't look back. It actually turned out pretty good. Just kind of cleaned it up. Basically hid the rust. So yeah, I did pressure wash it and try and get it as clean as possible, but I think it turned out pretty good. The fuel tank's looking actually really nice up and in there, and I'll paint the heat shield so that looks good as well. Yeah, and I'll kind of cleans up the back end a little bit, especially with painting some of this area, clean that up. So let's take a look at the top side and see if the fuel tank door is in the opening. Da, 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 da. Look at that. It actually is. That turned out, honestly, couldn't ask for much better. We got good access here to tighten fittings as our lines are going forward. We have good access to everything. So yes, I am super happy how this turned out. I think this looks really good, and obviously with that cover, it's gonna seal nice. Once the carpet goes on, you're never gonna know. And like I said, this actually strengthened this area up a little bit as well. All right, guys, that's it for this episode. Thanks for joining in. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure to do that on your way out, as I would greatly appreciate it. And stay tuned as we continue. I'll get the axle put back up into the car, get that all buttoned up, and then we'll move to the front engine compartment, and we're gonna tidy that up as well. And I have to do a little modification to the cross member to get the AC compressor to fit for the LQ4. So stay tuned for that, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.